Welcome to day 2 of CABSAT, and welcome back to the official CABSAT podcast powered by Northtelecom. Joining me now is Vijaya Cherian, who is the editor-in-chief of Broadcast Pro Middle East, Satellite Pro Middle East, also the managing partner and editorial director at CPI. That's quite a lot of titles, I have to say.
Well, it's a glorified title. You can just call me the editor of Broadcast Pro Middle East and Satellite Pro Middle East magazine.
Okay.
CPI Trade Publishing actually has a broadcast division as well as construction magazines.
Okay.
So we manage both. My business partner, Raz Islam, and I are managing the broadcast side, and Raz handles the construction side.
Okay.
That's my managing partner as well.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and more about CPI and the different publications, especially when it comes to the broadcasting and the satellite publication.
So we launched Broadcast Pro about 14 years ago in 2010. And we started when there was a global recession. So people asked us, why are you launching now? But we saw a gap in the market because I've covered the Middle East broadcast market since 2003. And I think I'm the only journalist that has covered this market from a broadcast as well as satellite point of view for so long.
Yeah.
And we are currently the only B2B publication covering these regions, both in terms of broadcast as well as satellite. So it's a very unique position, but also a position of responsibility. So we feel it is our obligation to the industry to bring them good news, correct information, accurate information, but also serve as a networking partner, bring the industry together for information sharing and so on. So we don't just do a magazine, we also do a website, social media. We do a conference and awards in November. We also launched manufacturer awards last year, and that was well received. So we're doing it again as an annual event.
Okay, exciting. So what trends do you see in the market, especially when it comes to broadcasting and satellite, and even in terms of publications? Because I've noticed that there's been a little bit of a shift when it comes to publications.
Yeah, well, digital transformation is something that everyone was talking about, but AI and cloud are really the big buzzwords in the industry at the moment.
Yeah.
And AI, I think, has taken over on every side in different verticals. As a journalist, I feel that AI has been very useful. If we did a 1-hour interview, it would have taken us about 7 to 8 hours to transcribe that interview.
Yeah.
Now you can go to an AI software and it would do it for you in 5-10 minutes. And that just makes it takes the tediousness out of it. No, I know that a lot of people say, oh, AI is come, it's going to take our jobs. I don't think that. I think AI is just going to make it more beautiful for us to do the interesting things, the more creative things, and leave the tedious elements to AI. So I think the same thing is also happening in our industry. Subtitling, dubbing would take so long, it would be very expensive. It would be very expensive, it would take very long, and now it's so easily done. Of course, there are a lot of things to iron out. We know that AI probably does not get some of the nuances of the language yet. It's probably doing a more literal translation, but I don't think it will be very long before it starts to get the flow more beautifully and it becomes more seamless. I know that it's also been more cost effective, more time, it takes less time, it's less time consuming, and therefore I think AI is really going to prevail. It's just going to get better. It's really important for us to see how we can use AI to complement what we already do.
Yeah. Okay. And how can brands better adopt technology to enhance their message? Because I've noticed that a lot of companies, especially here exhibiting CABSAT, they're looking more for the merging of technology and branding and brand marketing and all that. How important is it?
It's important if you really need to do it. I see a lot of companies using a lot of gimmicks and using a lot of technologies when they may not really need to use it. I think it's always nice to do it reverse and see what is the objective you have and if you really need to use those technologies. A lot of companies today say, oh, that's the latest technology. We'd like to adopt that. And then they take the technology in and then they decide, then they think, what do we do with this technology? That should not be the way at all. You should know what your objective is. And if you do then need to use that technology to get your point across or get to that objective, it makes sense to use it. So I think sometimes less is more. You don't have to use all the technologies available to you. You can use what's relevant for you. And I think right now a lot of people are using everything that's available, and I'm not sure it's the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
I know the vendors are probably pushing it, but I'm not sure we need it all the time.
All right. And I guess that also ties in with the building an immersive experience for brands as well.
Yeah, immersive experiences are very good. Do you want to have an immersive experience all the time? I'm not sure. I mean, I enjoy the traditional way of doing things and seeing things, viewing entertainment. And that, I think, is going to be the interesting way of doing it for 80% of your time.
Yeah.
You want to have a 3D experience, you want to have an immersive experience, you go for a little while into the theater, or you go into a certain environment where you have the wearables and you use it, that's great. But you want to have it for a short period of time. I'm not sure you want to be immersed in that for a long period of time. So immersive experiences are great, but again, I think those in little bits and bites is great.
Yeah.
To have them as snacks is okay. Do I want that as the main course? I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. And what are unique challenges and opportunities that you see in the region, especially when it comes into the industry?
The big challenge, I think, for most of the industry is a change, the need for a change in mindset. We're also traditionally focused. I think we are sometimes bound by our traditional mindset.
Yeah.
And it's something that the systems integrators, the people on the top who are trying to bring about some change in their organization are struggling with a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's really important for people to understand that technology is there to help them, not take away their jobs. And I think if that mindset changed, they would be able to welcome technology and see how they could use it to their advantage rather than see them as competition or a threat. Yeah. Technology is not going to take away our jobs. They'll probably help us to redefine our jobs, to revisit the way we do things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're going to take our jobs. You still need human beings to do a lot of the good things that are happening in this world. You need our knowledge and you need our wisdom. You need innovation.
Yes.
I don't think technology is going to take any of that away from us. I look at technology as a blessing. It's there really to take away the tediousness from a lot of our jobs. If you look at them as complementary and as slaves, it's probably better than looking at them as ruling over us.
Yeah. That's quite an interesting perspective, I have to say. And finally, what do you hear visitors talking about a lot at this show this year?
Most of the people here are talking about AI. And they're talking about cloud. A lot of the management wants to hear about AI because they are thinking of how quickly they can get things done here. You can scale very quickly with AI and cloud. You can get things done at a much faster pace than you could do it with just human intervention.
Yeah.
So AI and cloud are really the big topics. Even out here, you know, when you talk about in the past, if you wanted to start a new channel or you wanted to have more storage, it was really difficult. You had to make a huge investment. You don't have to do that with cloud anymore. You can do all that scaling for a short period of time, just pay for that on the cloud. Yeah. And then you can scale back to your normal capacity. The ability to do that, the flexibility to do that is very important. Well. Yes, the investment. So the ability to do that and the flexibility, a lot of people today want to tell stories. They want to do it cost effectively and they want to see how to do it with more engagement.
Yeah.
The technologies we have today allow for that. So this is the reason why companies are promoting it, and the reason why it's becoming even more interesting for us as well.
All right, great. Thank you so much for joining us, Vijaya. It was great talking to you. You clearly understand the market very well. And we wish you a good rest of the show.
Thank you, Yona. It was lovely talking to you.
Likewise.
And thank you to CABSAT for having me on this podcast.
Thank you.